Well, hey there. Welcome to episode 5 of the Uncool Show. I am Dylan Wilder. Here he is. The one that everybody's actually here to see. It's Randy Felker.
That is not true, Dylan. That is not true.
Oh, gosh. Randy and I have been,
Having some technical difficulties.
technical difficulties for a minute here. My production skills are still in the making. But we're going to leave that behind because there are a lot bigger and better things to focus on. Mainly the youngest team in NFL history winning a playoff game, let alone making the youngest team to make the playoffs, let alone win a playoff game.
Yep.
It's good time to be a Packer fan. Good time to be a Wisconsin sports fan. We've been blessed, and Randy and I happen to think there's more blessings on the way.
Yes, sir, Dylan. Tomorrow at 7:15 Central, the Packers are going to beat the 49ers. I said it right off the rip. They're going to win.
A minute 24 in, Randy.
Minute 24 in.
Here, dude. He is here. Why not?
Why not us?
Why not?
Why not
not?
us?
It's time for the biggest game of our young core's career. And I have I know that our boys are going to show up.
Yep.
Win, lose, or draw, our boys are gonna be right there. We have Jordan Love, who Brock Purdy has had a great year.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe the most relevant Mr. Irrelevant of all time.
Yep.
I mean, I have nothing but love for Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, other than the Chargers and the Raiders, growing up, I loved the Niners too. They were like one of those teams that my dad cheered for and I kind of paid attention to. But we got to get the dub, man. It's time to get the dub, and I love Brock, but it's time for that Cinderella story to come to an end, at least for this year.
Yep.
We have a very real shot. And, the media, even after what we did to Dallas, after they all said we wouldn't do anything.
Yep.
We did it, and they still won't give us any respect. Everybody's still
9.5 point spread.
But again, I think that's where these boys want to be.
Yep.
They want to be the underdog. They want to have everybody doubt them, and
yeah, keep doubting.
It's not a bad place to be. We've proven the back half of the year that we're a team with fortitude. We're a team with resilience. We're a team that's diligent when it comes to the X's and O's. And I couldn't say that the first half of the year, but we've rounded into form, and these guys are really playing for each other and really playing for something bigger than the individual.
Yep.
And what a time, man. I mean, that Cowboy game was insane from the rip.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think you or I, and we watched that game with my little brother Nathan. Shout out to Nathan. And we also watched that with Alexis.
Yep.
And shout out to Alexis. And I don't think you and I could have drawn up a better script.
Yeah.
I mean, they did everything we wanted them to do, and then a little more, which is what you need to do to win in the playoffs and to shut some people up.
Yep.
And what stood out to you from that game? Because you're always more keyed into the NFL than I am. I was watching every snap, but you see things a little differently than I do in terms of football. What stood out to you, and what do you think worked well against Dallas that will work well against the Niners?
Yeah, to start, and this is what I'm hoping for tomorrow, Dylan, is that we hopefully win the toss, and I'm hoping we start with the ball again. We started out fast, and if you remembered, we basically I think the first 2 or 3 drives, we scored, 14 straight points, put the pressure on, made Dallas, fall back on their heels. That whole saying of all gas, no brake, it's going to be no different tomorrow, Dylan. The Packers are going to have to, again, just punch them in the mouth early. Just no mercy, basically.
Yeah,
They're going to
no
have
hesitation.
to. They're going to have to just ball out. go in there. I think overall the key for tomorrow is again we're gonna have to be able to run the ball effectively.
Yeah.
We clearly ran the ball super effectively with Aaron Jones. Granted, the 49ers have a way better linebacking core than the
Yeah.
Cowboys, and clearly the defensive coordinator was a little bit more, what's the word, unwilling to adapt. And I think the coordinator for the 49ers, Steve Wilkes, is going to have way more, what's the word, just,
He'll have more tricks up his
yeah,
sleeve.
more tricks, but we will too. And I think
Yeah.
LaFleur is definitely just like a teammate or an old teammate of Kyle Shanahan. He's going to have some things up his sleeve too. And
100%. I think that bodes well for us
yeah,
that LaFleur has more familiarity
yep,
than a lot of other coaches would.
yep.
Um, in terms of the run defense, what
For
are,
the 49ers, you mean?
yeah,
Yeah,
are they really that legitimate? Are they somebody that, because I mean, in general, good offense always beats good defense in any sport,
yep,
right?
yep,
Uh, and Aaron Jones is on a tear that is unique.
yep.
The last 4 weeks he has been playing at an untouchable level.
Hmm.
He really has been.
Yep.
Um, and we need him to be playing that way, clearly, and he takes that onus upon himself. But do you like foretell him having issues? Do you think that he'll be able to overcome that defense? Because I know they're legit.
Yeah.
They've been legit the whole year. They've been the media darling, other than the Eagles, pretty much the whole year.
Yep.
A little quieter than the Eagles. People really got on that Philly bandwagon midway through, but the Niners have been consistently there,
Hmm.
and they will continue to be, and they should be. But what are pieces of their defense that you think Aaron can take advantage of? Because I do feel like much like you, I feel like he is the X factor in this game.
I'm gonna keep this simple, Dylan, because I was doing some research naturally this week, looking into the 49ers, and this is gonna keep it simple for everyone. This is gonna be the key piece. If the Niners can slow down our run game with a six-man box, so like the four down linemen and Fred Warner,
Yeah,
and there's a statistic I was blanking on, but they said something like when the Niners are at their worst, it's when they obviously cannot slow down the run game with like a light box. If they can slow us down with a light box, we're going to be in for a long game. But if they can't and they have to bring up a guy like a safety or, basically,
yeah,
go more heavy, it's going to open up everything. And at that point, then Jordan's going to be able to ball out. So the key, really, Dylan, will be are the linebackers like Fred and them going to be able to shoot the gaps and slow down the run with just a light box? If they can't, I think we're going to have another great game again with Aaron Jones where he's just going to run wild. The defense does have flaws. Yes, they're very disciplined and good, but overall, they are not unstoppable.
yeah.
And teams like the Ravens exposed them on Christmas, a couple other teams like the Browns. So the key will be the Packers have to be able to run the ball on a light box. Secondly, if they can do that, it's going to just open up the whole entire rest of the offense. I think they're also going to have to switch it up from last week, where if you notice they ran for wide receivers a lot of like delayed sail routes they call it, where they're kind of slow moving crossing routes, and I think the Niners are going to be prepared for that. But I also know Matt probably expects that too, so
Yeah,
he's going to have
100%.
a
Yeah,
counter for that too. So the key will be that Aaron Jones that he can run on a light box, which I think they'll be able to, and also their linemen are all very good. But to be honest, Dylan, they're all more predicated on the pass again. So I think again, if we just run the ball early and get that going, Jordan's gonna be able to
100%.
cook.
Yeah,
Play action opens up. Even if they get pressure, Dylan, and we saw that the first touchdown that Jordan threw last week, total seed, just
yeah,
guy off right in his face, Aaron Rodgers esque, just
yeah,
off his back foot, just kind of just flung it, and it was just right.
yeah. Off
So
his back foot,
yeah,
fading away,
yeah,
and like also like fading to the right
yep,
while he's fading back.
yep,
I mean, it's an
disgusting
incredibly,
throw.
incredibly hard throw to
Yeah,
make for a veteran, let alone a first-year starter
yep, in a playoff game in
in a
that setting.
playoff game.
Yep.
He even if let's say hypothetically that in the first half the Niners really clamp down on the
Hmm.
run.
Yep.
Let's say Aaron has like 10 carries for 30.
Hmm.
Let's say he has a rough half. I still have more than enough confidence in our receiving core,
Mhm.
in our tight end core, and in Jordan Love to make up for that,
Yep.
if that happened, and vice versa. Let's say Jordan has a tough first half. Aaron can carry,
Yep.
you know? We have a team that, again, I'll sound like a broken record, but I don't care because it's the truth. We have a team that's peaking at the right time.
Oh, yep.
No team is peaking harder than we are.
Yep.
And that's why the establishment sports media doesn't want to talk about us
Mhm.
because they're afraid of us.
Mhm.
They've seen and they've saw what we did in the back half of this year. And why would you want to cover that when there's Philly and Baltimore? But
Kansas City.
now that some of those teams are losing, and you have to cover us.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yep.
And Jordan Love is putting the league on notice, whether people want to admit it or not.
Mhm.
So, regardless of our running tomorrow, regardless of our passing, I have enough faith in the opposite part of that to make up for those weaknesses, or make up for any flaws that might happen in that first half.
Mhm.
Again, defensively, Joe Barry is still week to week. He's still coaching for his life out there. I don't think that.
He might keep his job if we win tomorrow and the defense
Yeah,
plays
yeah,
decent, which I
100%.
would accept at this point. If we can beat
Yep.
tomorrow
Yeah,
and
yeah,
heck, even
yeah.
even obviously ideally win a Super Bowl, then yes, I will for
Oh
sure
yeah,
be cool with it.
yeah.
But I will say this, Dylan, is a couple quick things to build off that before we get into defense. First of all, Matt LaFleur, he's not going to get it, but he should get Coach of the Year. Just the way he turned
I
that whole
agree.
team around. Even ourselves, we were kind of early on questioning like, does he have that locker room? Is he too soft? I think he's answered all those questions to the media and to the fans. Is that
Yeah,
he clearly has that whole young locker room engaged.
they love him.
They love
They
him.
love him.
Those end of the game locker room, videos where he
Yeah,
calls
yeah,
out but just about everyone and all the elements of the game, even the
yep.
punters and
Yeah.
Musgrave staying on his feet, like
Anything, yeah, dude.
anything.
I love watching
He's
those.
so
I agree.
different than any other coach in that regard lately. And then secondly, Dylan, to build off of that is that like you just mentioned, this team is so dangerous tomorrow when you have a bunch of young guys that are under the age of 24 that don't have that emotional baggage again with a team like the Niners over the years.
Yep.
Very few, players besides maybe like Aaron Jones and Preston, guys like that
Remembers anything? Yeah,
remembers anything. And those guys I think also should be motivated and confident, be confident too, because all these young boys are gonna, I think, give them that energy, be like, hey, Aaron, don't worry about it. We got you, my guy.
yeah.
Like, we're going to go out there. We're not afraid of them. We're going to run circles around them because we're faster. We're going to be playing in a warm environment. So, for once, actually, I think this plays into our skill set where if we played in Green Bay, yeah, maybe we could work it out. But let's be honest, Dylan. Like, we have a fast team.
Mhm.
Let's play on a fast track,
Yeah,
go in a shootout.
yeah. We definitely have to push the pace.
Yeah.
I agree.
And here's the other big element too, Dylan, that I thought about, and it's so clear. The Packers, I heard this on Wilde and Tauscha the other day,
Yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
they mentioned this. There's no other team right now, Dylan, with our salary cap and how cheap we have of all these young playmakers, where we have the largest window moving forward over the next 4 or 5 years to win some championships, especially if Love keeps ascending. So overall, I think it's going to be really exciting, and it's all gravy, like you said too. There's no expectations really tomorrow, other than just play hard,
Yeah.
play loose, and all the pressure again is on San Fran because after this year, Dylan, if they choke this, if they lose to us tomorrow, San Fran's screwed because they're gonna have to pay half those players and they won't be able to pay all of them. They're gonna lose some very key players next year, along with a lot of these other teams too right now. So Green Bay, I think, regardless of what happens tomorrow, Dylan, I think we're gonna be in a good spot. But let's go win this thing because again, San Fran, they say they have no pressure. They say that, they're gonna handle us, but they have a lot of pressure, Dylan. And
Well, hundred
it'll
percent,
start to
dude.
seep in as the
Yeah,
game gets closer. And if Jordan starts to get confident, it's like
yeah.
early, they're gonna be thinking about it. And that's gonna be a factor right there. You watch, pay close attention to those players on the sideline, Dylan, when we start competing with them, especially if we get out to an early lead. I know I'm talking fast right now, but like I feel like I'm just in a flow state right now dealing with this because it feels like the whole team is just ready to play
They
and they're
are,
not
dude.
afraid.
They're
And
hungry, man.
I'm so jacked for it, honestly.
And
And so is Wisconsin and all the
oh,
Packer fans, I'm
oh yeah,
sure.
you can feel it.
Around the world actually too, not just Wisconsin, but
Like you said, as I don't know if we're the lowest um salary.
yep.
I don't know where we rank, but I didn't see the same tweet or the same anything you saw. But for our payroll,
Hmm.
the sky is the limit. I was talking to my friend Mike from work. Shout out to Mike. You need to start your podcast, bud. I don't even care about the Steelers. Start your pod. But I was talking to my boy Mike from work, and he's like, the Packers are impressive, man, because they're built for the future, but they're winning now.
Yep.
They're not.
Shout out to Goody, I guess there again. He
Yeah,
kind of knows what he's doing a little bit,
he's done a great job. We
along with our
we
scout.
needed to like we need you and I needed to like sit back and be a little more patient with it. But when you are the youngest team in NFL history to make the playoffs
And now win a
and
game
then
against
win
the
a
2
game
seed in
and
Dallas.
still nobody wants to
Yeah.
talk about you don't think that these young guys are like, the hell's
We
going
just
on?"
not only did we win, we just whopped,
won.
like
Yeah.
destroyed
But
Dallas.
nobody wants to give us any
Yeah.
credit. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to win this one too.
Yep.
That's the only like that feeds a young ego.
Yep.
And you do need that ego to be something.
And to beat a team like the Niners, you
Yep.
need that tomorrow. Yeah.
You like you said, you need to have no respect for them.
Yep.
You need to have no respect for their players. You need to have no respect for them as a franchise. Who cares what you've done before?
You need to have
We're
respect,
here
but
now.
not be afraid
No,
of them.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, don't disrespect them as
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But you don't need to be
Yeah.
don't be afraid of them.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what people are picking. Don't worry about the outside
Just play your game.
influences. Play.
Yeah.
And we play better than a lot of teams do right now.
Yep.
And just because we were 9-8, people,
They're the
they're
seventh
a fun
seed."
story. Yeah, we're a fun story that is beating your favorite team.
We're gonna punch you in the mouth again. Let me
know, so-
emphasize that, San Fran. This is different this time, and we're not gonna lose 4 games in a row over the years in the playoffs against y'all. Just be ready.
I mean,
We're gonna sound really goofy, Dylan, but they're
yeah, if they
not
lose,
if they're gonna win.
No,
I'm just saying it
they
right
don't-
now.
I'll play that role real quick. Let's say they lose.
Yeah.
Most of the people that watch this pod are Packers or Bears fans.
Yep.
If you're a Packer fan, we did it.
Yep.
We won a playoff game with a first-year starter. We did it in the back half. And if you're a Bear fan, again, you can sit on the outside because it's easy to talk when you don't accomplish anything.
Yep.
It's nothing personal, but
It's just reality.
it's
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah.
You can hate on Jordan Love, but you can't hate on the results.
Yep.
When the Bears have a quarterback that throws 31 touchdowns, 4,400 yards, 65% completion,
And 11 picks only.
leads the league in third and fourth quarter touchdowns, leads the league in third and fourth quarter completion and yards, then you can start talking. When your team makes the playoffs for the first time in a decade, then you can start pretending to talk.
Yeah.
But right now, the winners are winning, and the watchers are watching.
Yep.
And the Packers don't care.
Yep.
And neither do Randy and Dylan on the Uncool Show. Because we're winning. Not just here, but elsewhere. That's how life goes. That being said, it's going to be a fun game. Win, lose, or draw. This team has outperformed anybody's expectations.
Yep.
We've done it with class. Did you see that little like Twitter rumor going on today that our players were like talking garbage to the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders?
Our players were?
Yeah.
Mm.
There are a bunch of like Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders who are going on TikTok and being like, Romeo Dobbs was being mean to us after he scored.
What's considered being mean?
But then you go and you watch the tape and Romeo's not saying a word, just stone faced and walking.
Yeah, they were just quiet the whole
Yeah.
game. Even when we were up
Quiet.
27-0. You remember? I
Quiet.
still, Dylan, not to like, but like Jordan, if you remember at halftime when it was like 27-7 or 27-0, stone cold, Dylan.
Yeah.
He did not care, bro.
No emotion.
And you
job
best
isn't
believe
done
he's you best believe he's gonna be like that tomorrow. He knows. And let's talk about this real quick, Dylan. You know where Jordan Love is from? Santa
Cali.
Clara.
Cali.
Yeah, Santa Clara, where they're playing.
Yep.
And you best believe he's going to have a lot of family there. He's going to have a lot of people that care about him there. He's not going to lay an egg tomorrow for that. He's going to come in there and be ready to play.
I know this is going to sound kind of off-putting.
Yeah.
Jordan Love's mentality reminds me of Kobe's.
Yeah.
Kobe used to like I remember like watching him in the back half of his career when he was playing the Magic in the finals or playing the Celtics in the finals. And I think when he was playing the Magic, they were up 3-0 or 3-1 or something like that. I think the Magic might have won one game. But they're up. They're about to win. Everybody who watches basketball knows that Kobe's not going to lose to the Magic.
Yeah, no.
And a reporter is like, you're up 3-1, you're up 3-0, whatever it was. Why aren't you happy? You don't look happy. You don't look like.
Mhm.
And Kobe, I remember he would stare at me, he looked confused. Job ain't done yet. Yeah, we're up 3-1. We're up 3-0, whatever it is. Job ain't done yet.
Yep.
Why should I be happy? Everybody else, because other people on the Lakers were celebrating and getting kind of
Yeah.
hood and
That's
doing,
exactly how you lose the series,
and
and
he's
Kobe's like, "Nah, I'm
no.
having none of that."
What? I'll celebrate when I got that championship trophy in my hand. Then we did it. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna wait.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pretend.
Yeah.
And I think Jordan has that mentality, dude. His mental is unbelievable.
You
He's
mentioned that in the beginning of the
ridiculous,
season,
dude.
and
He's
I noticed that
ridiculous.
too. The mental poise again that guy has compared to, an Aaron Rodgers, I'll say too. Aaron
Yeah,
has had his own elements of poise, but if
yeah.
you remember Dylan towards the end, back half of his career, especially last couple years here, his just poise just went out the window, and I think clearly he was, going through maybe some things too in life, and so
Spiritual battles too.
spiritual battles is the
Yeah,
best word for it. But
yeah.
actually, since we were talking about Aaron real quick, Dylan, because I mentioned this to you when we were talking earlier, and I think a lot of people don't realize this is what makes Jordan so dangerous right now is that Matt has a great scheme. It's a great offense, kind of like Kyle Shanahan's. And Adam Stenovich, our current OC, basically came out. I guess it was maybe earlier this week, or anyways, like he basically mentioned how Aaron, when he was the quarterback, they said it was so hard to remember what play they ran because over 50% of the time he claimed Dylan, and I don't know if that's exaggerating, maybe he was a little bit, but
Yeah.
he basically said that Aaron changed the play so much that not only him and the coaches, but the players struggled to remember what play they ran because Aaron would just check out of something. And
Yep.
granted, they had success, he said, and they're not going to like hate on that necessarily, but you could really see against teams like the 49ers over the years and other teams that really knew how to figure out Aaron. It felt like his ego really got in the way again with
Yeah.
him rather than just running the offense, letting it actually flow. Because as you know with Matt and you saw last week, he's like Mike McDaniels and Kyle Shanahan. One play sets up the next play, and when
Yeah.
Aaron would check out of something, it would like disrupt, I think, the whole entire flow. Versus Jordan could actually run the offense and actually set up one play that would then set up maybe a shot play the next. And when Aaron's checking that all the time, it's very hard and it feels disjointed.
I think I completely agree.
Yeah.
I think, and I want to be very careful because Aaron Rodgers is to me a top 3, 4 quarterback of all time.
I think he's like
And he
the
might be,
greatest quarterback besides Tom,
yeah,
maybe. Yeah. Number 2.
I think it's very, yeah, he might be 2 for me too.
Yeah.
So I do want to be careful about that, but Aaron, towards the end of his Packer tenure, was very much in his ego
Yep.
and was very much about saying the right thing,
Mhm.
but not doing the right thing.
Mhm.
He was very much, I can't tell you how many quotes last year were, oh, I'm gonna be the leader. I'm gonna let these young guys figure it out. But then you watch the game on Sunday and he's screaming up at the sky. He's
Yep.
screaming. He's cussing at that guy. He's cussing at this
Yep.
guy. He's cussing at the OC. He's cussing at LaFleur. He's cussing at himself.
Yep.
Very unhappy guy. Um, and unfortunately, a very selfish guy. Uh, and he wasn't always like that. I
No.
think certain levels of fame and achievement
Mhm.
and pure talent brought that on. I think when you're that talented, when you're that gifted, there is a level of ego that does need to occur.
Of course.
Occur. Aaron did take that too far,
Yep.
and instead of being about the team, he made the team be about him.
Yep.
And
You gotta play into my way, and I got
yeah,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
again, as a multiple-time MVP, as one of the best to ever lace up, I do understand that. I
Yep.
do,
Yep.
but at a certain point, I think the ayahuasca, um,
The darkness retreats.
I think the ayahuasca might have had a negative effect as opposed to a positive, and I feel like he got a little too into his ego and a
Yep.
little too like, I'm some enlightened being. I am God's gift to humanity. Uh, you know,
I'm so interesting.
yes,
Yeah.
and you are.
He is.
He
He's
is
an interesting
interesting.
guy for
You
sure.
are smart.
He
You
has some
are
interesting
gifted.
things to
Yeah.
say, but yeah.
You are opinionated. You do stand up for your opinions, whether they are right or wrong, and I do respect that. I respect any man that has a conviction
Yep.
to hold true to who he is deep down. But
He's uncool in his own way,
100%,
but
100%. But the way his tenure ended here was really unfortunate,
yep.
and I have nothing but love for him. You know, he has nothing but love for the boys. You know,
And Green Bay
he's
too,
still
and the
talking up
fans.
Jordan. He's
Yeah.
still talking up the fans. He's still talking up the people who he built relationships with here,
Yep.
which is great. But I hope and pray that Aaron can kind of understand that he is his own worst enemy,
Yep.
and he needs to. And who isn't?
Yeah.
Every human being is their own worst enemy or their own worst critic or their own stepping stone. You know, we all have that, but I think Aaron really is going to regret the way that he treated people and the way that he went about business. But, you know, we don't have to like fixate on that. It is what
No.
it is. He's gone, and I think he's gone for the better, man. I think he's probably happier where he is. I think Aaron has now become like unfortunately, kind of an attention whore.
Mhm.
He's not going on McAfee because he doesn't have other things to do with his time
Yeah.
or because he doesn't have places he could
He
visit or
doesn't have his
money he
family,
could
cough,
spend.
cough, I hate saying that, but he
Yeah,
doesn't have his family.
yep.
That's a big one right there, but
I think he's bored and he loves attention.
yep.
He loves attention
Oh, yeah.
more than a lot of people. That's why he's trying to start beef with Jimmy Kimmel and all these people. And I agree with him. I'm not
Yeah.
disagreeing with him politically to a certain extent, but like, buddy, why don't you just get healthy and focus on the game
Yeah.
instead of trying to be like a pole in the sand where you can just be loud and proud and you know I wish him the best, but the best is behind him, and it's all about love now, baby. All about love, dude.
All you need is love.
And you can tell that, again, we've talked about this on the pod, but he brings a different energy that the boys needed.
Yep.
I think the staff needed. I think LaFleur needed.
Yep.
I don't think LaFleur has any ill will towards Aaron Rodgers,
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
but I think he was also very ready for new energy,
Yep.
new timing, new rhythm, new style, but mainly a new mentality. You know, at a certain point, you gotta let go of that toxic shit.
Yep.
You gotta move forward, man. And we did that,
Mhm.
and we did it for the better. And again, I hope Aaron balls out next year. I hope Aaron plays another 2 or 3 years
It'd be fun for
post
sure.
injury.
Yeah.
I hope he has a
Helps the Jets
great
for once,
yeah.
please.
I hope he has a great Jet tenure.
Yeah.
Dude, I would love nothing more than
Yeah.
that, but
Jets Packers Super
I don't
Bowl
miss him
maybe.
anymore. You know,
Yeah.
couple weeks into the season, I missed him a little bit, you know, because
I think everyone did.
he makes passes that no human being can make.
Yeah.
But then you start to see Jordan make these same passes. You're like, oh man, those three
Must have
years
learned
worked.
something.
Those 3 years behind him,
Yep.
they worked.
Yep.
People did the same thing when it was Favre.
Yep.
It works.
Yep.
You can talk your noise from a distance, but the way we develop works.
And
It just
everyone is
does.
really starting to notice now
It just
because it
does.
wasn't just once or twice. It might be 3 times now, Dylan. And I'll say this real quick too. Let's play devil's advocate real quick here
I'm
too.
good at doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
enjoy doing that too.
yeah, so I'm gonna bring this up, Dylan, because I know some of the doubters, some of our friends, some people again that will not be named, but they know who they are. Much love, by the way, I will emphasize for these people, all of them, genuinely, because they're not like the ones that Dylan alluded to last episode a little bit.
No. Yeah,
Uh,
no. I was
yeah,
actually like I'll let you
yeah,
do your point really quick, but just if you're in Randy's corner, I'm not against you, and I know who's actually in whose corner, but I know the way we ended our last episode was a little different than how we usually do, but
yep.
I'm not gonna apologize for that. Randy's my boy, and
You made my mom cry, Dylan, for it, which was really nice in the sense of she was happy that one of my friends did that. So
again, man, like I said it at the end. Randy's the kindest, most generous, most loving person I know, and like I don't know, I'm done letting people take advantage of that, and Randy's done with that too. And people can label that however they want, but continue with your point. I know that it is all love. You know, if you're a real one, is Penny about to get in front of the lens? What are you doing? What are you doing, cutie? It is all love, you
yeah,
know. Sometimes it is fun and games, but like I said last week, sometimes it crosses the line, and that's when I get mad, and that's when I don't get out of character, but I start to become like a weird dad figure, you know? And I'm not gonna apologize for that, but
No, you shouldn't. I'm not gonna apologize either for certain things that I have done recently too, because when you get to a point, Dylan, when you really get pushed, sometimes you gotta push back, and I'll ask for forgiveness later, and I'll leave it at that. But anyways, uh, so building off that quick though, a lot of doubters again and people that we know have expressed that, okay, great, Jordan has had a great year. Like you mentioned, all the great numbers, better than Rodgers statistically in theory, with arguably
in
less
his first year,
with
100%.
arguably
Yeah.
less talent. And I'll say this too. A lot of people have said, yeah, he hasn't played a ton of maybe great defenses this year. Fine, fair, valid. I'll take note of that. But at the same time,
Is that like a narrative
it
for
is a
him?
narrative. They're saying that next year that he's going to fall off because, it's
Oh
the
yeah,
second
he might.
year. And he might fall off a little bit, but I
He
think he could also ascend even
he could
more.
have 27 and 12. Ooh, what a fall off.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But the point I'm trying to make is that people is, and a lot of people are starting to see this, is that Love again, is not a system quarterback. I don't and like what anyone says, he's not. He's got his own greatness, I think, forming.
He is the system right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
He is.
but not in a bad way,
No,
like you said.
he's not like
He's
James Harden.
creating that system.
That's why I quote James
Yeah,
Harden's "I am the system"
yeah,
when he like got traded to the Clippers.
yeah,
Jordan is the system,
yeah.
but it's not a toxic way like
No,
Harden.
no.
The whole team loves his
Yeah.
system.
And he's selfless.
He
He
is.
he he cares about his teammates and it's not about him, and
Yep.
that's why he's playing great right now. But building off that, like you said, Dylan, is again, yeah, he may have maybe a less statistically uh good year next year,
Yeah, maybe.
but at the same time,
Who
again,
cares?
he's gonna have a full off season to take that all in what he did. And yeah, there's gonna be defenses that'll have film on them. Great, cool. But at the end of the
He's
day,
gonna have film on those defenses too.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he's gonna have a full, like, year to review and assess, and all those young playmakers that we mentioned are gonna have another year better. They're all gonna still be cheap, Dylan, by the way, including Jordan still for at least one more year before, unless they extend him, maybe next year, which is fine. But they're gonna have a lot of cap room. And lastly, I just want to say is that Love, at the end of the day, you can just tell the dude doesn't care what is said about him. If anything, he's fueled by everything, and
Yep.
it's almost like he's like hearing all these doubters still continually. Like even I told you earlier, Dylan, the disrespect. And I'm gonna talk about Better, the company that Jake Paul started for another sports gambling.
Okay.
I don't want to be mean, but a lot of these employees of his, I was telling you, Dylan, we're talking about which quarterbacks would you rather have to win now over Jordan Love. And the one that really just got me and ticked me off and almost felt like just comical is they said Kyler Murray, which I'm sorry. Shout out to like Better Mikey Locks and other guys that probably won't see this yet. Cause again, you guys think you're awesome and everything. Cool. But you guys don't know football, respectfully. Like, you guys don't know football. And the fact that you guys are still doubting Jordan Love and thinking, oh, they were saying like only 2, 3 games. No, try like 10, 11 games, boys.
Kyler
And I'm
Murray.
honestly going to clip this, Dylan. Please, we're going to clip this particular, even if we have to manually. I'm going to
Yeah,
send it to
really.
those people individually. And I'm going to say, you guys don't know who we are yet, but we know more football than you guys do. If you're claiming that Kyler Murray and all these other quarterbacks that are not better than Jordan Love are better, like, I'm sorry. Like, Jake
Kyler
Paul, I hope
Murray?
you see this, Jake Paul, because you need to assess your employees a little bit and actually wonder, do they actually know football? Because they don't know football, respectfully, if they're making those claims. They're just being haters because a lot of them are Bears fans or whatever other teams they root for, like LA teams. The point is, you guys can't make those claims. And after Jordan Love beats San Fran tomorrow, Dylan, I'm getting a little, not heated, but just like fired
Passionate.
up right now,
Passionate.
is you're going to learn and you're going to see. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. Like, Jordan Love is taking names, including from all the media and the people that are still doubting him. Stephen A. Smith saying, I saw, has no chance. They were saying to beat San Fran. Don't believe, just watch is what I'm gonna leave it at. Don't believe, just watch, because tomorrow at 7:15 Central, the Packers. I'm gonna make a score prediction here, Dylan, and then you can give yours because I want your score prediction. I'm gonna say 38-31, Green Bay,
38-31.
and I'm gonna say Jordan Love 4 touchdown passes. That's the other thing that everyone's been giving Jordan Love crap for, Dylan, is he hasn't thrown 4 touchdown passes yet
Okay.
this year. Who cares? Well, guess what? He's going to do it tomorrow. I have a feeling.
I would
So,
to be like I would rather him throw one touchdown tomorrow and win
yeah, I
than
don't care. But what I'm saying is, like, at the
I
end of the
know, but
day,
like the narrative. I need big numbers.
yeah,
I need this. I need 5 touchdowns.
yeah,
You need to draft a quarterback that wins.
yeah.
You need to draft a quarterback that can throw
That cares about his
31
receivers.
touchdowns and 4,100 yards.
Yep.
You do that first.
Yep.
I, I, big numbers don't mean anything.
Yep.
What matters is
Just winning.
winning and losing.
Yep.
And we're winning. We've been winning. And I don't care who you are. If you watch the NFL, you know you don't get a random playoff win.
No.
You prepare for that
Mhm.
and you earn it.
And they earned it last week.
earned it.
And they're going to earn
They
it
took
tomorrow
it.
too.
They came out there, they smacked them.
Yep.
They smacked them twice, and they smacked them 3 times. And then the Cowboys woke up after 3 slaps.
Yep.
Cool.
And then they kind of made it interesting, but not really. It was just our defense and everyone just kind of took the foot off the gas because it was 48-16. I'll just remind everyone at the end or beginning of the fourth quarter. And then they scored like 16 points at the end there during like mop up time. But the point is the game was never close. Tomorrow it will be close, I think. But we're gonna prevail, Dylan. We're gonna end up. It's gonna be a shootout, like I was just saying. But anyways, let's hear your prediction real quick. So 38-31 for me.
I feel 27-21.
Green Bay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Dylan's picking San Fran after all this, everyone.
27-21, Brock Purdy over Jordan Love.
Stike. No.
No. Packer all the way. I'll pick them until they lose.
You got faith though.
I
right,
don't
Dylan?
care if that's
You got faith.
delusional or not. Like,
You got faith.
I'd pick them over anybody.
Yeah.
Until they lose.
Yep.
They're my people.
Yep.
You know. And I think there's something to be said for, again, the lack of expectations on this team.
Yep.
Nobody's picking them. Even after nobody picked them last week and they won, nobody's picking them. The underdog mentality is very powerful.
Yep.
You can do a lot feeling like the underdog. You can do a lot feeling disrespected.
Yep.
It can build a fire. It can build a real culture in a locker room. And if you're a good coach like Matt LaFleur, you can take advantage of that.
Yep.
And I have no doubt that Matt is just every day. Y'all see first take? Stephen A doesn't think you can do anything. All right. You don't think they're putting that up in just before a little film session? Hey, we're about to go watch this, but hey, check this out real quick. Man, Jason Whitlock doesn't think y'all are shit, huh? All right. Well, let's do film quick. He's doing that.
Yeah.
You know, because he knows, especially with these young guys, whether it's right or wrong, these young guys, they do care about that. They care about the media attention. It's not always for the best, but when you're the underdog, you can use it.
Mm-hmm.
And our boys are smart, and they are team first. Jordan Love is a team first quarterback.
Yep.
And when you have a team first leader, that energy comes down.
Yep.
All the way to special teams, dude.
Yep.
All the way down. These boys, they're playing with an energy that is palpable. And if you're paying attention, you can see that it's not just, I want to get paid. I'm trying to get paid. I got a contract coming up this summer. I'll show out. They're playing for each other.
Yep.
They're playing for that brotherhood. And as much as sports is about that brotherhood, that mentality is dying.
Yep.
You know,
Mhm.
people play for themselves in every sport.
Yep.
In the NBA,
And it's their downfall.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen, whether it be a Milwaukee Buck or another player that I care about. Oh man, when that contract year is coming, that dude is in shape. You know, when that contract year is up, ooh, that guy got in the weight room. Ooh, he worked on his jumper. Man, he put up 20 a game that year. And then they get paid, and ooh, I can chill now.
Yep.
None of that on the Green Bay Packers right now, man. None of that mentality. Nobody's trying to get paid. Nobody's out there for numbers. They're out there for the W. And that's how I know that win, lose, or draw, we're going to play the right way. We're not going to care.
Yep.
You know? It's a powerful thing, man. When you have nothing to lose, you have everything to win, man.
Yep. I want to finish with this, Dylan, because we said this is going to be a shorter pod, and we want to get the audio out before the game drops tomorrow. I'll be, Dylan and I, we're going to make sure we get the audio at least out, and the clips and video will come. But I'm going to finish with this, Dylan, because I think it's a good way to finish. I'm going to leave it with this. All things are possible through God. And you know who's a believer, Dylan? Jordan Love. And Dylan and I are believers, and also probably a lot of our viewers, hopefully, are believers. But at the end of the day, remember this, people. Whether you believe in God or not, there is something in this world that is a higher power, I want to say. And when you truly have that faith in general, you will see. If you don't believe us, just maybe try it sometime
You
and
see
have that genuine
results.
faith.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the same with our podcast and everything else. At the end of the day, we'll all make mistakes and things, but if you truly have that faith, just watch, because all things are possible.
Yep.
Through the man upstairs. And we'll leave it with that. All gas, no break. Go Pack Go. Uncool Show, episode 5. I appreciate Dylan. He appreciates me. Let's get this W.
Let's get it.
Ooh.